بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير يا فتاح وبك نستعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر. Okay, so first we will review. Inshallah, we learned before the 6 types of al-fi'l al-madi. Al-madi mutlaq, al-madi qareeb, al-madi ba'id, al-madi istimrari, al-madi ihtimali, and al-madi at-tamannai. So first thing we learned were the 6 types of madi. Then we went into al-fi'l al-mudari', the present and future tense. So we learned that. We learned the nafi form, the negative form, the positive form, the passive and the active, ma'ruf and majhul. After that, last week we learned nafi, ta'keed, bilan. Alright? Al-fi'l al-mudari bilan li ta'keed al-nafi. When you want to bring a lot of emphasis to negating something in the future, that this will never ever happen, it is impossible that this will ever happen, then you use lan, the word lan, lam and nun. And it's called nafi, an-nafyu, at-ta'keed, bilan. An amazing example of that, I don't know if we mentioned it last week, but I think we were trying to get to this ayah. If we can open our Qur'ans to Surah Al-Baqarah, and it's in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, it will be ayah number 23 and 24. It's an amazing ayah in an amazing surah, and every ayah of the Qur'an is amazing. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 23. وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِّثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. And if you are in doubt concerning that which we have sent down, meaning the Qur'an, to our slave, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you're in doubt of this, that it's actually from Allah, then bring a surah of the like thereof. So try to produce a surah and get all of the intellectuals together. Bring all of your helpers and supporters. Gather all the intellectuals. Gather all the geniuses, all the brainiacs, all the masterminds who know how to speak, and try to produce one surah. So Allah is giving a challenge in this Quran, in this ayah. It's an amazing challenge. Nothing can compare to even one verse of the Quran. So Allah is the creator of people, and Allah is the creator of knowledge and words. So He is challenging. The Creator is challenging the creation. Can you bring a word like this? Of course not. So then in this, the next ayah, the word lan is used. So it really gives a good meaning. So in the next ayah, فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا فَاتَّقُوا النَّارَ الَّتِي وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ أعدت للكافرين. But if you do it not, and you will never ever be able to do it. وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا, meaning you will never be able to bring a surah like that of the Quran. So this is where we understand the word lan. Many have tried, for the last 1400 years, and they tried to bring a surah like there of the Quran. If you put all of the amazing words of all of the creation from the beginning of time till the day of judgment, and you put the word of Allah on this side, there is no comparison. It will never happen. So it's even ridiculous to compare, but this is a challenge in the Quran. The creator of words is challenging. Okay? So Allah says, وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا, and this is the tense that we learned last week, النَّفْيُ تَأْكِيد بِلَن. So this example makes it very clear that when you use the word lan in front of a verb or mudari', then it will bring the meaning of it. This is never going to happen. And of course, it's never going to happen in the future. Okay, so it's going to be makhsus for future tense. Another very clear example, and this is a little scary one. So let's go to Surah At-Tawbah. Surah At-Tawbah is the 9th surah of the Quran. Always have a Quran with you, inshallah. And you can keep it in the cabinet over here. The one with English translation is best in this class. So Surah At-Tawbah, ayah number 80. Surah At-Tawbah is the 9th surah and ayah number 80. So Allah is talking about the hypocrites, okay? Those who broke the covenant they made with Allah, and then they secretly plotted all types of filth, and then they constantly hurt and harmed the believers, and they mocked them. So it came to a stage where Allah made a decision on them. So ayah number 80 says, Istaghfir lahum aw la tastaghfir lahum in tastaghfir lahum sab'ina marratan falan yaghfir Allahu lahum. Allahu Akbar. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you ask forgiveness for them, meaning the hypocrites, or you don't ask, you ask or you don't ask, it doesn't matter. Even if you ask 70 times for them, Allah will never forgive them. So very fearful ayah, scary ayah. فَلَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. So this lan, it comes over here in a very gruesome manner and a scary way. So this is explaining to us the example of lan a little bit more. I think we can get one more example of lan. Alright, we can go to Surah Baqarah again, and ayah number 55. These are ayat that we should all know, and we should have knowledge of them. So now we're learning the tenses, and these tenses are in these ayat, so it's a good time to understand the ayat. Alright, ayah number 55 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Baqarah is the 2nd surah of the Quran, ayah number 55. وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا مُوسَى لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكَ حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. That's it, that much of the ayah. وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا مُوسَى لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكَ حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. And remember, so Allah is talking to the Bani Israel, and Allah is telling them to remember. Or actually, so Bani Israel. So remember when you said to Musa, O Musa, we shall never believe in you until we see Allah plainly. in plain sight. We want to see Allah in front of us. You are the one talking to Allah all the time and coming back and going, and we want to see Allah. So we will never believe in you. So lan nu'mina. Nu'min from the word iman. We will never bring iman laka in you hatta until narallah. We see Allah jahratan, plainly, in plain sight. So another example of lan, which gives the meaning of something that will happen, that will never happen in the future. So it's to negate. So it comes on fi'l mudari, it comes and it gives emphasis in the negation. You know, one more example. I like this example also because it gives a few words that we should know. Surah Taha, the 20th surah of the Quran, and ayah number 91. Surah Taha, the 20th surah of the Quran, and ayah number 91. Okay. Qalu, and this is again the Bani Israel. Qalu lan nabraha alayhi aakifina hatta yarji'a ilayna Musa. So it's Surah Taha, 20th surah, and ayah number 91. قالوا لن نبرح عليه عاكفين حتى يرجع إلينا موسى. They said, we will never stop worshipping the calf until Musa returns to us. So Musa alayhi salam had gone to meet with his Allah, and then, you know, the whole incident happened, which is very, you know, we all know about it. So Harun is telling them, Harun alayhi salam, you know, what are you doing? So their answer was, we will never stop worshipping this calf. So lan nabraha. Baraha yabrahu means to stop or to leave or to discontinue. So they're saying, lan nabraha, we will never stop. Alright? So they're declaring, we will never stop worshipping the calf. And akifin, what does akifin mean? To cling to something. Okay? The exact meaning, worship is what we made the translation, but the exact meaning is to cling to something, to be fully devoted and busily engaged in something. That's where we get the word i'tikaf. So what we're doing in Ramadan and when we're making i'tikaf is we're fully devoting ourselves, you know, and clinging on to the masjid and not coming out, and being fully engaged and busy in the masjid. So that's where the word i'tikaf comes from. So they were making i'tikaf around the calf. And we will never stop worshipping. So this is another example of lan. Allah save us and give us the true guidance. So this is how lan changes the meaning of fi'l mudari. It's a very powerful negation and it's happening in the future. And how did it change the word itself? It changed the word by changing the ending of the verb. The default state of the word was with a rafa or a dhamma. Alright? We will, inshallah, explain what a rafa is. Okay, so it had a dhamma. And it had a dhamma. And it had a dhamma. It had a dhamma and a dhamma. So this is the default state of fi'l al-mudari, to have a dhamma on it. But lan comes in the beginning, over here, and when lan comes on fi'l al-mudari, it changes the dhamma to a nasab or a fatha. So it will come here, and it'll change it to a fatha, and it'll change this to a fatha, and I told you guys it's 5 places where it changes it to a fatha. So what are the 5 places? لن يفعل واحد مذكر غائب. And then لن تفعل واحد مؤنث غائب. And then واحد مذكر حاضر لن تفعل. And then واحد متكلم لن أفعل. And جمع المتكلم لن نفعل. So it comes in these 5 places and changes the ending from a rafa to a nasab or a dhamma to a fatha. Alright? So let me erase that now. I'm going to need that spot a little bit later. Alright. Inshallah, I will explain what rafa and nasab and jar means either in the next lesson or in the future sometimes. Because this nasab and jar, rafa, nasab and jar has to do with a different subject. It has to do with a subject called nahu. In Arabic, in English we say syntax. So that subject is in the next book, inshallah. So we're not discussing it in this book. In this book we're discussing something else which is called as-sarf, which means to change around the word itself, and it doesn't have to do with the context of that word in a sentence. So nahu has to do with the context and how the word changes at the end because of the word behind it or in front of it. So inshallah, lightly I will go into it so we understand what rafa, nasab and jar or jazm means. But right now all we need to understand is that it was a dhamma here and it changed to a fatha. Dhamma, we know what that sign is and we know what a fatha is. Basically in this book that is enough. If we understand that and learn that, it is enough. But inshallah, if we do get time and if it's simple enough, I will explain it in the next class or in the class in the future. So there were 5 forms in which the dhamma changed to a fatha. And then when lan came on this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. So seven forms. So first is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In these, there used to be a noon at the end. Alright? Taf'alani and taf'aluna. And in all of them, there was this noon. It's called a noon al-i'rabi. And when lan came, it changed the meaning to the future negation, and it came and it drops the noon at the end. So it became a little bit lighter. Okay? It became easier to say. Instead of taf'alani, the bigger word, now it became a smaller word, taf'ala. And this comes in the Quran also, and we will mention some examples. Alright, now, questions. How will I say, alright, the word is dakhala yadkhulu, okay? Dakhala yadkhulu means to enter. How will I say, I will never enter? I will never ever enter. Alright, one person is saying it right. Yes. Okay, we don't need to use abadan, but it's a good thing to know. Lan adkhula. Okay, so it'll be right here, okay? Lan adkhula. It's wahid and it's mutakallim. I will never enter the class. Lan adkhula al-fasl. I will never enter the classroom. Somebody said something so bad, that's it. They looked at me bad. Or let's say I will never enter. I will never leave the class. Or let's say we will never leave the classroom. Or we will never leave. Kharaja yakhruju means to leave. Kharaja yakhruju. Lan nakhruja. Good job. So lan nakhruja. Okay. We will never leave. Okay, let's make a tasniya. Okay. All right. Those two women will never bear witness. Or let's make it an easy word. Those two women will never testify. Those two women will never testify. The word we're going to use is called shahida yashhadu. As we say, ashhadu Allah, I testify to that there's no one word. Lan tashhada. All right, good job. All right, let's make another one. I think I should sit down because it's... Okay, let's say that you, one lady, will never scream. That's a good one. I don't like screaming at all. Huh? Oh, what's the word? Okay, that's Saraha yasruhu. Sad, with the sad. Let me put it up there. Saraha. Saraha. Saraha yasrahu. Okay? Yahu. It's from Fataha yaftahu. So Saraha yasrahu. So you, one lady, will never scream. Is it this one? No. You, one lady? That's that one lady. You, one man. Okay, you, one lady. Lan tasrahi. Okay. Lan tasrahi. You will never. I think it's Fataha yaftahu. So you tasruhi or tasrahi. So you will never scream. Lan tasrahi. All right, let's see. Let's use this one, okay? All those men will never learn. They will just never learn. They're always going to mess up. So let's use the word alima ya'lamu, to know or to learn. Lan ya'lamu. Okay? So all those men will never learn. All right, so that I think covers... Lan adhaba, I will never leave. Dhahaba yadhabu, to leave. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, and we should have some examples of majhul. Majhul means passive. So I will never leave. Okay, let's make a different one. I will never forgive. Let's not use I. Let's use something else. I'm a nice guy, I always forgive. At least I think I do. Okay, let's say all you men will never be forgiven. All you men will never be forgiven. It's from the word ghafara yaghfiru. Yaghfiru. Ghafara yaghfiru. So all you men. It's not going to be ya, because I'm saying all human, so it has to be a ta. Lan tughfaru. Alright? All human will never be forgiven. So what will happen is, this will change to a dhamma. Let me write it here. Tughfaru. Lan tughfaru, all you men will never be forgiven. Inshallah, all of us will be forgiven in the court of Allah tomorrow. But just for an example. All right, let's do another one. Window. Okay, to break. All right. It will never be broken. It will never be broken. Or she will never be broken. Or it will never be broken. So how would you say... Oh, do you want to know the word? Kasara yaksiru. Kasara, kaf, sin, and ra. Kasara Yaksiru, to break. Lan, lan tuksara. Good job. So let me write it here so people can see it. Lan tuksara. All right. So it will never be broken. All right. Kasara yaksiru means to be. So it was lan taksira, and then to make it majhul, remember the kasra changes to a fatha in majhul and the dhamma in the beginning. All right? All right. Okay, so we can move on. Now we will learn the next form of al-fi'l al-mudari'. So first we learned al-fi'l al-mudari', the ordinary or the general fi'l al-mudari', meaning it was present future, and there was no addition to the verb to make it specific and precise for an exact meaning. Then we learned this one, an-nafi at-ta'kid bilan. We added a lan in the beginning to make the meaning specific to, number one, emphasize in the negative, and number two, the action of the verb to be specific to the future. And we gave many examples of that. Now we're going to learn another type of fi'l al-mudari' called al-fi'l al-mudari' al-majzoom bilam. Al-majzoomu bilam. Let me write that on the board. Al-fi'l al-mudari' al-majzoom bilam. So al-mudari'u al-majzoom Today's lesson is kind of easy because it's almost like the last one. Alright? Ba means with and lam. So, fi'l mudari' majzoom bilam. Al-fi'l mudari' with lam added in the beginning of it. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of lan, we're going to add a lam here. Alright? Lam. And lam. Lam. So instead of lan, now we got lam. Mim nun. Alright. فيما سبق ذكرنا الفعل المضارع باللن لتأكيد النفي في المستقبل فإذا أردت أن تكون الفعل المضارع المجزوم بلم إيتي بلم في بداية الفعل المضارع وتجزم لم 5 صيغ من المضارع وتحذف لم النون الأعرابية في 7 صيغ كما ذكرنا بلن ولا تعمل لم في صيغتين وتحول لم معنى جميع صيغ المضارع إلى الماضي المنفي. So fi'l mudari with the addition of lam. It is also called an-nafi al-jahad bilam. Nafi, an-nafyu, an-nafi, an-nafyu. Let me write that. So there's 2 ways of saying this. This is the smaller way. An-nafyu al-jahad. Jahada yajhadu means to deny. Al-jahad bilam. So we can say nafi jahat bil lam. Alright? So right away from this we can understand that lam also comes and it makes the mudari into manfi. It makes it into negative. So it's going to be negating. Okay? Just like when lan was there, it made the mudari only for negative. When lam comes, it also comes only for negative, and it will make the mudari into the meaning of negative. So let's say yadribu. Yadribu means he is hitting or he's going to hit. If you put a lam in front of it, let me write it here. Yadribu. Alright, who can tell me what this means? He is hitting or he is going to hit. Present or future. Now if you bring a lam in front of it, first of all, this is going to do something to the end also. It's going to make it sakin. Empty. Okay? Sakin, another word, empty. So, or majzoom. Alright? Majzoom means sakin or empty. So it's going to change this ending. So, what did lan do? Lan changed it to a fatha. What is lam going to do? It's going to do it, make it into a sakin. So lam yaf'al. There's nothing on there, it's a stop sign. Okay? And then in the 5 places as mentioned before. So it'll become lam yadrib. Yadribu, he is hitting, he's going to hit. Lam yadrib, he did not hit. He did not hit. There's no emphasis, just the meaning is negative. What do you kind of understand when I say he did not hit? What else changed?
Tense.
Yes. Zaman. It became past tense. Okay, good job. So 2 things happened different from lan. One, it brought a sakin at the end, and I guess 3 things. And then there's no emphasis in the negation. And number 3, instead of being for the future, it is for the past. Alright? So lam yaf'al will mean that one man did not do it. Exactly the meaning of madi manfi. He did not do it. He did not do it. Or let's say ma daraba, he did not hit. Lam yadrib, he did not hit. It's exact same meaning. Lam comes and it changes the meaning to al-madi, al-manfi. Okay? So let's go into this a little bit in detail. So it was yaf'alu, the mudari was yaf'alu, lam came on it, it became lam yaf'al. This was taf'alu, lam came on it, lam taf'al. This was taf'alu, lam came on it, lam taf'al. This was taf'alina with the noon at the end, the mudari. Lam came exactly like lan, it dropped the noon at the end. It made it lighter. Lam, it was af'alu, it became lam af'al. This was yaf'alani, taf'alani, taf'alani, taf'alani. It became yaf'ala, lam taf'ala. So just like lan dropped the noon, lam also drops the noon. Over here was yaf'aluna, taf'aluna. Lam came, it dropped the noon. Lam yaf'alu, lam taf'alu. Yaf'alna, just like lan wasn't powerful enough to change yaf'alna and taf'alna, same lam does not change yaf'alna and taf'alna. Those 2 are mabni. They will stay the same. They're stateless. Mabni means stateless. They don't change. Alright? So, this is the new tense that we're learning. It's called al-fi'l al-mudari majzoom bil-lam. Majzoom, another meaning. It means sakin in these 5, and it means to drop the noon in these 7. Alright?
I'm sorry, you said 3 things changed. One is the ending, one is the tense is changing. What was the 3rd thing?
And, well, the negation. The yaf'alu was, positive, and lam came, it made it negative. So the ending, the negative, and the tense became madi now. It became in the past. This comes in the Quran a lot, and we'll give some examples, inshallah. Alright. So this is why it's called nafi jahad bilam. Nafi means to negate, and jahad also is almost in the same meaning, to deny, to reject. So using of lam to negate and deny. So a difference between lan and lam is the negation in lam is not so strong. Okay. Another difference is lan changed the meaning specifically to the future, but lam is different. It changes the meaning to the past tense, to fi'l al-madi. So when lam comes on a verb, it affects the verb in a few ways. Number one, like we mentioned, it changes the meaning to negative, and so it will have it will not have a muthbat tense. You know, like mudari had a positive, yafalu, yafalani, yafaluna, and then it had a negative, la yafalu, la yafalani, la yafaluna. This tense will it's only negative, it doesn't have a positive, so it's only going to be this. Lam yaf'al, lam yaf'ala, lam yaf'alu, lam taf'al, lam taf'ala, lam yaf'alna, ila akhirihi, till the end. And it changes it to al-fi'l madi. And just like lan changed the word to make it rafa state to nasab state, lam also changes the end of the word from its default state, which was rafa, to a new state which we're learning, which is called jazm. And inshallah, next lesson or the one after that, I will inshallah go a little bit more into the states of the word itself. It'll make a little bit more sense, inshallah.
Lam yalid wa lam yulad.
Lam yalid wa lam yulad is different because the word has a waw in it. Because it's from the word walada, walad. So it has a waw in the beginning. Whenever there's a waw in a word, then it changes. That I don't use those words that have been changed. These are very simple words that I'm using. But lam actually is used there. Lam yalid, he was not begotten, and nor did he beget anyone.
So
Walam yulad. Lam yalid, he did not give birth to anyone. Walam yulad, and nor was he given birth to. So that is where lam is, and it becomes nafi in the past.
How about lam yakun al-lazina?
Lam yakun alladhina kafaru. Yeah. So this is also, and whenever lam comes on it has this meaning of nafi in the past. You had a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's turning into a madi, why have the two, is there a difference between the
Yeah,
two?
there is a difference between the two. This comes usually with the word in. It's shart and jaza. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا. If you do it not, and you will never be able to do it. So usually it comes in the shart and jaza, meaning something, if you do this, then this will happen. This is called shart and jaza. So usually it comes in this. Inshallah, we'll go a little bit more into the tahqiq of it, probably tomorrow, inshallah, and I will explain that a little bit more in detail. Okay. All right. So the majzoom in the 5, so the jazm in the first 5 words that we said is a sakin, so the ending, the haraka drops. Whatever the haraka was on it, whatever the dhamma was on it, it drops. So it becomes empty. The symbol, it becomes empty, so there is no sign at the end. Okay? Now last week, what did we understand? When lan comes upon a word, it makes it lighter. Remember I said that? By changing the default state of dhamma to a lighter state, which is a fatha. Dhamma, you have to put your mouth together like this, and fatha, you just open it, and the word comes out. And this happens in 7, this happens in 5 places. In the 7 places, it makes it lighter by dropping the noon. Now, when lam comes upon a word, it changes it to the lightest form. So, lan changes it to lighter, and then lam changes it to the lightest form. Okay? What is the lightest form? There should be nothing on it. It should be empty. So lam yaf'ala, that's lighter. Lam yaf'al, and you don't even have to say anything. It's even more easy to say and more simple to say. So it changes it to the lightest form. Okay? So in the first 5 places where I mentioned the wahid mudhakkar ghaib, wahid muannas ghaib, wahid mudhakkar hadir, wahid mutakallim and jama mutakallim, these 5 places are left empty now. So it became the lightest form. And how does it make it lighter in the next 7 places? It drops the no. Alright, so that's easy enough. I don't think I really... And the 2 Jama Mu'annath, Ghaib and Hadir, they stay as they are. Like my teacher used to say, when the women get together, you can't change them. So they're firm. They get really strong now. Alright, so now in the handouts, if you look at this, the handout that I gave, Lam yaf'al. Alright, yaf'alu, it was yaf'alu, so if you look at the left side of it, is where it's starting, the left side. And then with the addition of lam, and it became lam yaf'al, lam yaf'ala, lam yaf'alu. So you have the whole, whatever I wrote on the board, you have it in your handout, inshallah. The next handout we can look at is where we can do some work on our handouts by ourselves. So there's one, it's front and back. So the first one is done for us, Lam yakhluq. He did not create. Lam yakhluqa. They both did not create. Lam yakhluqu. All of them did not create. So the second example is what? Lam. Let's see if everybody's on the same page. Lam yanzur. Okay, yanzur. He did not look. Yanzur, nadara yanzuru, to look. He did not look. Third one is lam yatruk. He did not leave it. Okay, lam yatruk. And lam yahdur. He did not attend. Yeah, there are some people who did not attend today. So, lam yahdur. And if you look at the back side of your page, you got lam yaftah. Okay, so now the ayn kalima has a fatha on it. The last 4 examples, the ayn kalima had a dhamma on it. Yakhluq, yanzur, yatruk, and yahdur. Now the ayn kalima has a fatha on it. Lam yaftah, he did not open. Lam yadhhab, he did not go. Lam yarka', he did not bow. And lam yabhath, he did not search. So this is something called homework. I think we forgot what that meaning of that means. It means we work at home and do something and write it, inshallah. It makes it easier to memorize.
I don't have a copy.
It wasn't there?
No.
Okay, so what we'll do, I guess I didn't make enough copies. I'll make it at the end of class, inshallah. And by the way, all of these things are already online. So
With homework or?
yeah, this, whatever I've, this even, the copies of the homework also, I've already put it online, so you can always print them out at home. So we can have, all the copies that I have here will be used by those people who don't have internet or don't have a computer and whatnot. Or don't know how to use it.
To make this lesson, it's online?
Yeah, it's online. This is already online. I put it this morning.
How do you translate lam yasjud?
Yes,
Is it
jud,
prostrate too,
to
yeah?
prostrate, and yarka would be to bow. Okay, so yes, jud, I think is a better meaning to prostrate. Yeah. Be careful, it's prostrate. If we take out the R in the middle, it becomes a dangerous word. He did not prostrate. All right, with an R. And yarka, I think the better translation would be he did not bow. Okay, raka'a, to bow. And yasjud would be a better translation of he did not prostrate. All right, let's give some examples of this. All right. Wow, we're gonna get done early today. It's good. Okay, let's erase. Alright, we'll leave it. Alright. That one man did not hit. That one man did not hit. ضرب يضرب.
يضرب
Lam
يضرب
yadrib. Okay, the ain kalima will have a kasra. Alright, that one, okay, let's make it here. Those two men did not get hit. So now it's lam yuf'ala, right? So how will be the ضرب يضرب? Yud. Alright, remember the ain kalima changes to a fatha now because it's majhul. So it's not going to be yud riba, it's going to be yud raba. Alright? Remember that. It changes to a fatha. Is everybody understanding this, or should I write it on the board?
Right in the board.
Right on the board? Gonna make me do extra work. Alright, let me erase this. That's alright, I get a reward. We're not doing it for a reward, we're doing it to please Allah. So we get the pleasure of Allah, inshallah. Alright, so let's lam yadrib. Okay? That one man didn't hit. But when I said those two men did not get hit, so lam, first of all, this changes to a dhamma. Alright? And it was yadrib, but in the majhul sense you have to, and then ba alif. Lam yudraba. Alright? Alright, another example is to recognize. Arafa ya'rifu. So let's say you two women did not recognize him. Arafa ya'rifu. Lam ta'rifa. Okay, lam ta'rifa. Let me write that on the board. Alright, so it was actually ta'rifani. The actual word was ta'rifani. When lam came on it, it dropped the noon at the end. It left it in a lighter word. It left it into a lighter form. So it became lam ta'rifa. Alright. All you men did not get recognized. All you men did not get recognized. Ta means ma'ruf. We're talking majhul now. Ya would be those men. I'm talking you men. Tu'rafu. Good job. So lam tu'rafu. Alright. So the alif comes here because the waw is for jama. I called where I studied and I said, okay, what else could be the reason that this alif comes after the waw? So one of the people that I studied with, and he's a teacher in a pretty good school, he's teaching the third level of this book for 3 years in wherever he's teaching. So he said another reason why this alif comes is so that this waw, so we know that this waw is for jama and this waw is not waw al-ataf. Waw al-ataf means the waw used to say and. Zayd and Amr. Zaydun wa Amrun. So wow. Now in Arabic, for example, this is the example he gave me. I don't like using the word qatl, but this is the example he gave me, so I'm going to just use it. So he said, Hadara qatla Zaydin. This example was actually written in the book, so he gave it to me. So, hadara. In olden Arabic, in the old books of Arabic, these things were never written. All right? And the books that we read, this is how it looks. All right? So it seems like it's written hadara wa qatala Zaydun. Zayd was hadir and he killed, or Zayd killed and he was hadir. Or let's say qatala also means to hit. So let's say he hit. Qatala is too strong a word. So he hit and he was hadir. But it's actually hadaru, and the waw comes so we don't feel that this is a waw ataf, and it's actually hadara qatla Zaydin. They were all present when Zayd was getting hit. They were present when Zayd was getting hit. So the alif shows that this waw is not the waw of ataf, and it's the waw of jama. Alright? Because soon, after all of this, all of us are going to be reading the Arabic books without any fatha dhamma kasra, because we're going to be so, well versed in Arabic. And, huh? Hadaru qatla Zaydin. Qatla is masdar. To hit. Okay? Or let's use an easier word, darba. Wow, this speakers. Alright, darba Zayd. Okay? They were hadir, they were present when Zayd was getting hit. So anyway, this will make more sense. The alif is there so to tell you that this is waw of jama, and you don't get confused that this is a waw of ataf, which means and in Arabic.
Would it be, before you race,
Yes.
would it be daraba or would it be duraba?
Darba. Darbun. It's a masdar.
No, but it's for Zayd, it's passive, not, it wasn't Zayd who was killing, it was Zayd, or hitting. He got hit.
Actually, the verb there is hadar. They were present
Okay.
when Zayd, at the time of the hitting of Zayd. So it's not, the word daraba was not a verb, it was a noun, it's an ism, and it's a masdar. Remember we said masdar is an ism, and then nouns are derived from the masdar. So remember the word masdar. It's not a verb. So it wasn't a verb, it was a noun itself. But I think this is down the line, so inshallah we'll mention it when the time comes. Alright, last example is to return. Alright? Who can tell me what the fi'al of
Raja.
to return?
Raja.
Subhanallah, Raja. Alright. So who did not? Okay, I did not return. Raja'a yarji'u. Lam? Lam arji'. Okay? So let me write that on the board. Lam arji'. So see, we're getting some vocab in there too now. We're learning these words because they're coming over and over again. Lam arji', I did not return. Alright. We were not returned in the passive. We were not returned. So we're using this Lam nur ja. Lam nur ja. Let me write that. We did not get returned. We all had a visa, so we all got to go. We didn't get returned. Lam nurja, or it didn't get returned. All right. Or lam yurja, it didn't get returned. All right. Let's see what I have ahead of this. All right. So, if you look at the back of one of the sheets that I gave you, it has the majhul in it too. Okay. So it has the ma'ruf on this side of nafi ta'kid, or no, nafi jahad bilam. So it has the ma'ruf on this side and the majhul on this side. So I've given all of the handouts that I gave you. One of the handouts has this on there. Okay, and it's also online. You can find it. So I don't have to write it on the board, it's already there. Lam yuf'al, lam yuf'ala, lam yuf'alu, lam tuf'al, lam tuf'ala, lam yuf'alna, lam tuf'al, lam tuf'ala, lam tuf'alu, lam tuf'ali, lam tuf'ala, lam tuf'alna, lam uf'al, lam nuf'al. All you have to do is change the beginning to a dhamma. And if the ain kalima is any other than the fatha, then change it to a fatha, and it becomes majhul. Alright, now we have a few examples from the Quran. So we'll give these examples in the Quran and then we're done, inshallah. Alright, so you will see this page that I gave you. It has a 74 at the bottom. It's in the handouts. First of all, the example that we gave a little earlier today. Who can tell me the example of the Quran? And what did I say? That Allah gives a challenge that who can bring a surah thereof. So who remembers that example and where it was? Yeah. So where was it? Surah Al-Baqarah. Ayah number
21,
23 and 24. Good job. Alright, so 24th ayah, it has both of the examples for فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا. So it has lan and lam in the same sentence. It becomes very amazing. Let me use my little stick because I really like this. There we go. And where is it? There it is. تَفْعَلُوا. Alright, lam taf'alu. So, فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا, but if you do it not, meaning if you can't do it. So it's madi, and it comes in the Quran, just looking like that. Alright. Alright, so on this 18th surah, what is the 18th surah? Should always have the, okay, Surah Al-Kahf is the 18th surah. And the first example is حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. So لم نجعل. So we have, this is واحد مؤنث هذا, right? What is it? واحد جمع. Wow, this is the new one. واحد and جمع. Good job. Alright, lam naj'al, we did not make. So Allah's talking, right? Lam naj'al, we did not make. Ja'ala yaj'ulu, to make. This is Surah Kahf. It's in the handouts that I gave you, okay?
The meaning is wahid, right?
Naj'al, we did not make.
But the meaning is go back to Allah.
Well, you know, we should know this. It's called the royal. What is it called? The royal. Royal we, right? So it's when Allah's using the royal we for it. But of course, you know, we know that Allah is one. But in this sense, Allah uses the royal we. Okay. Next one. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورًا فَمَا لَهُ مِن نُورٍ. So what is the 24th surah of the Quran? Surah An-Nur. And the 40th ayah. Alright, so it's the 40th ayah. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ. So, where is it? 40th ayah. And okay, it's at the end of the ayah. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ. And he for whom Allah has not appointed light. So Allah has not made light for him, nur for him. So, has not made. Who? It's wahid, mudhakkar. So, it's Allah. So it's wahid, mudhakkar, ghaib. And it has lam on it. So it became lam yaj'al. Alright? Now we will learn a rule whenever two sakins get together, do you know what a sakin is? When there's nothing on the letter, it's empty, right? Whenever two sakins get together, إِذَا حُرِّكَ حُرِّكَ بِالْكَسْرَةِ, then it's given a kasra to make it easy to say. So it was actually lam yaj'al. So the lam is empty and the first lam of Allah is empty. So you have two sakins. So one of them needs to be given a sign. So you gave the yaj'al a kasra, so it became lam yaj'alillahu. Otherwise, it was actually lam yaj'al, and it was empty. Okay? So this is an example. Maybe a little bit farther down the line we will understand more why we're giving a kasra, and that really has to do with a different subject. But we should know that when lam came on yaj'al, it became, instead of yaj'alu, it became lam yaj'al. Alright, next example, we'll just do one more and then I think we'll call it a night. Alright, alam naj'al lahu aynayn wa lisana wa shafatayn. What surah is this?
لا أقسم
90th. La Uqsim? Okay, let's see. 90th surah is Al-Balad. Good. Yeah, so it's La Uqsim bi hadha al-balad. And it is the 8th ayah. So it says alam naj'al. So again we have the royal we, and lam naj'al, it's jama mutakallim and it's empty at the end. And did we not make for him aynayn, two noses, right? Right. Okay, good. Nobody has two noses. Alright, aynayn. Good. Keeping awake, everybody should be awake. So aynayn, ayn is one eye, and aynayn is two eyes. Okay? Yes. Walisanan, and a tongue. Washafatain, and lips. Okay? So did not Allah give us these? Alright. And then the rest of the examples, inshallah, you can look at it at home while you're doing your homework, inshallah. And inshallah we'll call it a night. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah wa bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, waghfir warham. Can you turn it off?